Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ, you're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. A special welcome to any viewer from Brazil, although I doubt there are any, although I may throw some Brazilian Portuguese in the title to get some people to show up. We're reviewing the first Pan-American destroyer in the game, the Jurua. It's essentially a copy of the Gallant. I will link my Gallant video somewhere during this match. And a quick look at the teams. We are top tier, and we're moving out. So if you're familiar with my Gallant video, it has no AA to speak of whatsoever. It's got 4 guns. They're 120 millimeters. They're okay. It's got okay torpedoes, very accurate with the main battery. So we'll see if there's some tweaks in the system here. Unfortunately, Jurua is not loaded into WoW's build, so I can't do a direct comparison. But as we're moving out here, I will quote to you some history. The HMS Harvester was a H-class destroyer originally ordered by the Brazilian Navy with the name Jurua in the late 1930s, but was bought by the Royal Navy after the beginning of World War II. Immediately after being commissioned, the ship began evacuating Allied troops from Dunkirk, assigned to convoy escort duty, sank a submarine in October of 1940, assigned to Force H in 1941. Ironic. Anti-aircraft armament was deemed too weak. Yes, that's true. Returned to the Western Command, converted to an escort destroyer in early 1942, torpedoed and sunk in March 1943 by a German submarine after having rammed and sunk another submarine the previous day. And when we talk about the conversion, we're talking about significant dearmament of the ship. And we might go into that later. All right, here we were spotted. There is the destroyer who spotted us, and Javier. I didn't realize that that's where he was initially. Look at my teammates. They are sailing side by side. Maybe they're conjoined twins. I don't know. But doing this is an exceedingly terrible idea. And I guess they're trying to nerf Will to Rebuild here. Or I'm sorry, not nerf it, but, cheese Will to Rebuild. Well, they don't maneuver, so they eat all my torpedoes. Then they eat all the enemy torpedoes. And pretty soon one of those guys is going to be toast. Yeah, I just don't get that. All right, re-engaging Javier. You can see accuracy seems to be a little less good than Gallant. That salvo looked pretty good. Set him on fire. Took him down to the very end there. And he's just maneuvering out of the way. I can't get the lead correctly on that. So he is going to live to fight another day. All right, Gata, full name, Ernst Gata. We're going to fire a little bit at him and not have a lot of accuracy luck there. These two ships continue side by side and eat more torpedoes. One of them dies. I mean, I don't understand what you were doing there other than trying to do Will to Rebuild off each other. And clearly, because one of the two ships is dead, that didn't work out. All right, here we're going to spam torps into the gap. We got 2 quad launchers on the ship. We did do the special mod I'll show you in the port to increase torpedo damage. So we will review that. Full port review of the ship coming up. All right, while we're watching these torpedoes go into the smoke here, I really want... Oh, there is the Ernst Gata. Guide. I know how to... Somebody told me how to pronounce this. I just can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter how to pronounce it. He's dead. Kill number 1. All right, Javier still out there. More HE salvos. How is that not a kill? He sets me on fire, but I can't kill him. And we'll just shoot over the island there. And then we'll turn away. All right. Yeah, one more time. Can we kill him? The answer is no. All right, we're going to dodge some fire here. We're waiting on a reload. Let's go back and talk about this ship. So because there is no information, let's talk about the artillery changes here. Was designed for four 45 caliber 4.7 Mark 9 guns, ABXY. The Y gun was removed to compensate for the additional depth charges. It had two quad Mark 1 mounts for AA and two quad torpedo launchers, one depth charge rail, two throwers, increased to 3 sets of rails and 8 throwers. Total load of depth charges went from 20 to 110. But the rear torpedo tubes were replaced by a 12-pound AA gun after Dunkirk. Added 2 Oerlikon guns, 4 AA during 1942. Another pair of Oerlikons replaced the original A armament. The A gun, ABXY, was replaced by a Hedgehog anti-submarine spigot mortar and eventually got a target direction radar and a short-range surface detection radar and a HFDF RDF finder before it was sunk. So lots of changes were made to this destroyer. I think we're running away from the enemy ships who were encroaching. Probably just shot some torpedoes at some point. We're going to try to engage this Koenig here, but I really want to go back to wiki.wargaming.net. It says Jurua marks the third entry of Pan-American ships into World Warships. In game terms, Jurua is a clone of Gallant. This is not something I totally agree with. Something of a mix of existing destroyer styles, packing torpedoes that will remind players of those found on Japanese destroyers, married with main battery guns that are analogous to those of the American destroyer line. I don't agree with that part at all, simply because these have abysmal turret traverse. All right, Koenig is going to go broadside-ish to us, and I did my smokescreen thing, and we're just going to shoot for scare tactics here. But he eats a couple of torpedoes, and that is the end. I will say the torpedoes do a pretty good amount of damage, a little over 17,000 with my build. Again, we're going to cover that in the port. But the guns are not American guns. They certainly don't turn like American guns. I can tell you that much right now. All right, moving back out of the smoke screen. Got some help on this side of the map from a teammate who's not brain dead. And he's going to move in here, and he's going to really take out this Corbeil. So he's doing a good job. I think right now he's going to smash him because the guy's broadside. I just don't. He's trying to turn, but I mean, really. All right, there he goes. He finally killed him. All right, so we got a couple other battleships out here. Is that a California? It is a California. We're going to torp once at the California, and we got a Tiger turning away. So we will line up the California again and send a second salvo towards the California. While those torps are in the water, back to wiki.wargaming.net. Jurua's torpedoes are identical to those found on, remember this is PC, British cruiser Leander, topping out at over 15,000 alpha, true. Carries some quad launchers just like Farragut, with speed and range similar to Shinonome and Ernstgata. Retains the ability to launch the torpedoes singly. Asterisk. Blah, blah, blah. Longest reload of all destroyers at the tier. Some of the worst torpedo firing angles at the tier. So if you're looking for a comparison, I would say the comparison is the ship they said it's identical to, the Gallant. By the way, shell dispersion, where is this dispersion? Just 91 meters. All right, so we got a little too close. I keep forgetting that I have the base commander in here. He's not very highly ranked up, so we don't have a ton of concealment. We did finish off the Tiger with torpedoes. Now we're moving in on the California. We've got 4 kills. We're on the hunt for a Kraken. And so we're going to play a little cat and mouse with the California here. And just lining up my turrets, even though I have no plans on shooting. We are going to use torpedoes. I'm going to give the California player some kudos. I think he does an excellent job here of battle tactics in avoiding my torpedoes. And what can I do but tip my hat to a well-played match by the California player. So these torpedoes probably aren't going to hit anything. So let's talk about this ship. It's a middle of the road destroyer. You've got adequate guns. They're not fantastic, but at this tier they're good enough. You've got good torpedoes in terms of damage. The reload and the firing angles are terrible, but that being said, they do punch pretty hard. So if you can get them lined up, you aren't going to have any problem taking some ships out. If you are a completionist, yeah, I think you would probably get this ship. If you're Brazilian, obviously, I think they're just trying to get more Brazilian players to open their wallets. So that's what this is all about, is we're spotted again. And I'm going to start spamming here, but very low fire chance, IIRC on these guns. I think just 5%, so yeah, maybe like Farragut in that respect. Anyway, it gets smashed there, and I see he's turning. In a minute, I start turning the wrong way, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. He's going to kill me. Shells in the air, torpedoes out. We do get killed, but I do have torpedoes in the water, folks. I think if they all hit, we could come close to getting our Kraken. So if you're a Brazilian player, I expect you're probably going to buy this ship. If you really like the play style of Gallant, why not? You know, I got it because I bought some Christmas crates. We'll talk about that in another video. And I used the Christmas winter coins to purchase this ship. It was 5,000 coins. So if you buy 20 Christmas crates, you can get 5,000 coins. All right, we do get a torpedo strike to set a flood, but that's all the damage we can do. So we crack and fail in Jurua in our second match. All right, I think I'm going to cut ahead to the end, and I hope you join me there. All right, here we are on the victory screen. Devastating strike metal. We did 73,566 total damage. 7 torpedo strikes, 4 big kills. We ended up with 265,203 silver, over 4,600 ship XP, over 4,900 commander XP in Jurua. And there you can see our base commander, Pedro Lima Santos, who's just made up by Wargaming. Anyway, we finished at the top of the board. Looks like 17, 13, 15, 17 and change. Base XP, 1 medal, 4 big kills. No high caliber medal available during that match. So that was that. All right, here in the port, let's take a look at the upgrades. We went with Aiming Systems Mod 1 and Propulsion Mod 2, pretty standard. Here's that other mod I was talking about, the Mark 9 Mod 3 torpedo upgrade. We're going to demount this here in a second. You lose the ability to single tube launch when you mount this. All right, it increases the reload by 5 seconds. It decreases the speed by 10 knots. But in exchange, you get over 2,000 damage per torpedo, and the max range is increased by 1.2 kilometers. Also, 100 meters less detectable. So I think it is an acceptable trade-off. Plus, it makes the playstyle a little different than Gallant, and that's what I liked the most. So I did mount them, and I recommend mounting them if you're playing this ship. All right, here in the loadout, 2 charges of the smoke generator, 2 charges of the engine boost, identical consumables to Gallant. We were running the Common Battle Booster for speed, the Type 9 Permanent Camouflage, and the Republic Proclamation Day flag, which is one of 2 Brazilian flags available in the game. All right, 13,000 hit points with our build. Artillery got those 4 120mm guns, 10.2 kilometer firing range, 5.3 second reload, 18-second turn time, not like Farragut at all, World of Warships. HE max damage 1748, 8% fire chance, so that's better than Farragut. The max AP damage over 2100. 2 quad launchers reload every 84.6 seconds. Max damage 17,598. 9.2 kilometer range at 59 knots. The detectability is 1,100 meters. AA defense identical to Gallant. A rating of 2. You will never shoot anything down. I promise. All right. Maneuverability 37.1 knots, so base 36, not fast. 540 meter turning circle, 2.9 second rudder shift time. Concealment 5.5 on the surface, 3.1 from the air, 2.3 when firing in smoke. Affected by our commander level. All right, take a look at the stats. We played 2 games. We've won 1 and lost 1. We have a kill-death ratio of 2.5 based on the last game, which is our highest battle achievement, everything you saw from the last game. 4 kills by torpedo, 1 by guns. I would expect that to carry on as I keep playing Jurua. All right, Armor Viewer, nothing to see here. This is all pretty standard and identical to Gallant. Here's our commander, the base commander, Pedro Lima Santos. To my knowledge, there isn't a destroyer commander for Pan America in the game. Shichang and Swirsky as our inspirations. Base trait increases torpedo and main battery shell damage by a small percentage. These skills are giving me a throwback. I haven't used them for so long. Contact is imminent in row 1. How long has it been since I said that? Good grief. Look at me now in row 2. And here's another one I haven't said in a very long time. Back in stock. I think I was pausing on the row 2 skill to say, you get another 100 meters if you have it higher ranked. Anyway, there's the rest of the skills. Pretty standard for a destroyer out of a base commander. Who's not at a very high level. Anyway, that's Jurua. Thanks so much for any of my Brazilian viewers. Like, comment, subscribe below if you have Jurua. Love to hear your comments and thoughts below. And if you have Jurua or thinking about Jurua, beside this video, I'm going to link my Gallant video. So watch that and you'll get a good idea of what you can expect in this destroyer. Anyway, don't spend too much on those Christmas crates, folks. I will update you Thursday with what we got from the crates. I bought 20, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.